I'm just all mushy. Inside and out. What? Hi.
How are you? Okay, someone's mushy today.
That's me. I'm mushy. I'm all lovey-dovey today. It's bad.
Yeah, it's like here I'm trying to be all clinical and
Uh-huh. You do that thing you do.
I can't do it.
Yeah, you do
I
whatever
try.
you do.
I try. Hello, everybody. This is Relationship
Hello.
Rehab. My name is Lee.
Too much party that. Oh, hi, I'm Paul.
Too much party? Good God, no. Too much drivey.
Yeah, it wasn't. We weren't able.
Are you kidding me?
We don't drink and drive.
They were giving. I mean, it was like open bar, and they went through maybe like, I don't know, 40 cases of rum last night, and no, club soda.
Club soda.
Like the good,
Right.
not
Nice.
alcoholic that I am.
Yeah, we're responsible.
Yeah. Plus our 3 kids were home waiting
Yeah.
for us.
That's another responsibility thing. No, I just look
No, but
because this is the way I look.
Yeah.
It's bad.
No, he's just mush. I don't know. I woke up and there was a note on my computer screen. I thought someone had called, and no, it was a love note
Yeah, just
from some guy. From some guy.
Yeah, I gotta find that guy too.
He's got chickens crawling. It looks like he's like he writes like a serial killer.
Hi, Angela.
Hello.
Yeah, Angela.
Hello, Angela. And then Angela.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, in the last week we have been to the travel. What was it? Trade
show.
Yeah, the travel trade show. It was in Orlando last weekend, and then yesterday we went to a special. Hello.
Me, dog.
Special VIP party for Puerto Rico. Now, neither of us are Puerto Rican.
No.
We don't know why we were invited. We were like the only bloggers invited. Because it was just basically a travel thing.
Really gave me some thoughts though about blogging and all the new media. So
Right.
Mingle Media
Yeah.
being part of that.
Yes, and we are actually we spoke to someone about Mingle Media, and we have some emails to send out.
That's right.
Anyway, the point is, lots of good information, lots of good contacts, and hopefully lots of travel in the near
We're
future.
hoping. Keep our fingers crossed on that one.
It's looking very good.
Yeah, one of the things that they really, at the beginning with the bloggers and the new media people, is that we are the new journalists. And
Right.
that we're the new face of journalism and all that kind of stuff, which made me kind of go, ooh, really?
Yeah.
It's
Kind of
scary.
like, yeah, that was a scary thing. Well, actually, we went to a panel, and I wrote a piece for Ed, and I posted it in Blogger, on the Blogger website, and it was some travel agent, because there was some blogging seminars. There's only 3 of them. One of them, Caesar, my love, where have you been? Bess was my friend. Anyway, so we're there, and the last one was like a panel discussion, and there was a lot of travel agents there wanting to start their own blogs and stuff. And one of the travel agents asked the panel, do you need to know how to write to be a blogger? And one of the people on the panel, and notice I'm not saying the name, I'm not going to say it.
You're gonna be good?
No, I'm going to be really good about it, because
If I could remember his name, I'd say it.
yeah. He's like, no, you don't need to know how to write. And all the bloggers in the room kind of did one of those, what the? And that was just really, I found it very insulting, personally. The fact that the guy hires an editor for his, I said it was a guy. And there was the only guy on the panel.
That's right.
He hired an editor for his blog. Like, you don't need to know how to write, but you thought it was important enough to hire an editor.
Right.
It is 6 a.m. here, so I made the extra effort to be here today. Thank you, honey. Hey!
Excellent. Angela's your
Angela's
wife.
your wife.
Got
Cool.
it.
How are you guys? So how is it way over
somewhere.
In somewhere.
We won't say.
We won't say where. In some sort of witness protection program. Anyway, the point of this, we met some really cool people. A guest on our we've talked to some people who are going to be guests on our show in October.
Mhm.
We're not sure when. We're trying to work out the logistics because they're going to be in Paris.
Yes.
And it's Bruce and Pamela Murray, and they're doing 30 days in Paris.
Mhm.
And it's this interesting married couple. They've been married for like 10 years, and they're going to spend a month in Paris. And they have a Facebook page, 30 Days in Paris. And if you have any suggestions, they'll do it. So if you say, hey, go to this restaurant, near the Champs-Élysées, they're going to go and try it out for you. So aside from that, she has cancer. She has ovarian cancer, and she's stopping her treatment to do this. I don't know. There was just something about them that just made me do the whole what the. But I liked them. They were really nice people. She's a nice lady. A little intense, but I like that. So
took notes.
Secret location. It's great.
Yeah, she took notes on almost everything.
Yeah, but she was very cool, and she will be our guest. They will be our guests like in a couple of weeks, sometime in October once they're already settled in their place. Let's see, housekeeping stuff. October 15th, we're not going to be doing a show because we're going to be where? Los Angeles. Actually, on October 15th, we'll be on our way to Las Vegas.
Okay.
So I just wanted to put it out there in case I forget.
Okay.
And I might
so we're
do
not
that.
doing a show? We're not like doing it from there or something silly like that?
No, I don't want to.
Because it'd be what, 9 o'clock in the morning over there?
Oh, hell no.
That ain't happening. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, by 9 o'clock I haven't had enough coffee to do this kind of stuff. Not that I've had it enough today. We got home last night about 1:30. I'm driving back from Orlando. Drove to Orlando yesterday and drove back.
Yeah.
So, let's see. What shall we say? Okay, because driving to Orlando from here is like driving to Vegas from Los Angeles. Because it's what?
Oh, yeah, right.
Because it's like 4 hours and, everybody says, oh, it's 3.5. It's like, yeah, but we live in South Miami. We don't live like right at the edge. Anyway, wanted to start out, quick little chat. I don't know if anybody's seen the news today about the Bethany Sorrow lady, the young girl who had acid thrown in her face in Vancouver, Washington. Well, it came out today that she did her own acid wash. She threw the acid in her face. And why do I want to talk about this?
I don't know, because it completely messed me up. Just, when she originally said that she was attacked, it was one of those that, dug into my brain and wouldn't let go. So, knowing that it's fake, it's like, yeah.
And of course, because I do what I do, and it just fascinates me. And it's kind of like, sinking your teeth into something really juicy. It's like the pathology it takes to inflict that kind of harm on yourself. And not just, one thing is to hurt yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of, I'm going to maim myself, which is what she did.
Yeah.
And she was a nice-looking young girl, and now she is scarred for life. For what? Attention?
Yeah, apparently.
Affection? Notoriety? It's like, some people kill for that. So that's pretty messed up.
Yeah,
I like that. I liked it a lot. I really hope. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. That's what I like those things. I'm sorry. I'm the kind of person who sits there and watches, documentaries on Manson because it's fascinating to me. Not that I'm trying to pick up tips, I know what to do.
Uh-huh.
But I like watching it because of the pathology and the progression and the evolution of the pathology. I just find fascinating. Why do you think I've been with you for so long?
I know. I got all kinds of pathology.
See?
Yes.
So,
and some family ones too.
Ain't that the truth?
Anyhow.
Yeah. Driving in the car for 8 hours with your spouse gives you a lot of time to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, we were talking about the pathology in your family yesterday.
Yeah. Grandpa.
And still, I married and had children with him.
Mm-hmm.
Who is pathological now?
That's right.
It's like, oh Lord. Okay. So,
what are we talking about?
We're talking about letting go.
Letting go?
Letting go. I wrote my notes really, really fast, and they're kind of scary. Wow, they are kind of scary.
What if I don't want to talk about letting go? I'm not very good at it.
This is true.
I'm a clinger.
There's, we don't, in our world, we have two types of people, really. Those of us who let go too fast, and those of us who cling on to something. Those of us who would rather not say the final goodbye and just walk away, and those of us who will stay there until someone throws acid in their face.
You're evil.
I know. And notice how I'm saying those of us, So there's, this all has to do with knowing how to grieve and being willing to grieve, and it's an interesting. I find it interesting because it's like in relationships, it's a combination of two things. It's your boundaries and it's grieving, and just in life of letting go of anything. It's like, and when I say letting go, I mean it's as simple as just finishing a project.
Not so much.
There are people, yeah, there are people out there, and notice how I put it way far away from you, who don't finish things, and
I've gotten better.
Yes, you have. You've gotten much better.
Got a lot of therapy to get better on that one.
Damn straight. Oh, it would drive me crazy when we were first married. Mr. How many years in college?
At least 10.
At least 10.
Yeah.
Whereas I am like the exact opposite, and I did my undergrad in 3 and my first master's in 1.
Now, it's important to know that I did 10 years and I didn't change majors. Well, I changed majors once from engineering to physics. Okay, not a big thing. Didn't change
engineering
majors.
to dance.
Yeah, right. That'd be different. Yeah. I just took really, really, really a lot of classes. Really a lot. In pretty much everything. Wow. What's your?
I see. He's a professional student.
Yeah, very
Angela.
much. Yeah.
Grief is something that you allow yourself to feel. And what we've learned in this society is that emotions have their time and place. And grieving is the feeling of it and the acknowledging of it's gone.
Right.
And, whether we're grieving a relationship or whether we're grieving like right now, we're in the process of grieving the fact that we're moving from Miami, within a year, and we are in the process of saying goodbye to a lot of people. My family being one of them. And yes, granted that it's not the same as when someone passes away, but it is very similar to that. Because one of the things that we tend to do is that we pretend. We pretend that we'll see you again. No problem. Yeah, we're going to see each other again. We don't know that. We don't know that. And yet, this is this little hope that we put out there. And, when someone passes away, we create all these rituals to make ourselves feel better. And I put that in quotation marks, to make us feel better about how to say goodbye to someone. And the reality is that is such a private thing and such an individual thing that it's like his family has this tradition basically that they're very hands-on when someone dies, like really hands-on, and
like touching the dead body.
And taking pictures of the person in the casket.
My mother has an album.
Yeah, his mom actually has an album.
It's a photo album of dead people.
And then she insists on always taking the cross that's on the coffin. Well, my take on her, if you watch this, Sharon, take this advice and it's free to you. But she doesn't grieve them. she fake grieves them. She'll go there and she'll touch them, and it's she'll say that it's acknowledging that they're gone, and that but in reality, her own mortality issues kind of give me the hint that she really doesn't grieve people.
Right.
Just because you know that they're dead doesn't mean that you grieve them.
Mm-hmm.
Just because grief is something that comes in waves, and don't be afraid of that.
Now,
And in Angela's case, if I remember correctly, your mom passed away not that long ago. Definitely not more than 2 years ago. And that's something that in our society, we don't see that as a process.
Mm-hmm.
Grief is a process. Grief takes more than 2 years. It takes around 2 years to start your life over again.
Mm-hmm.
However, after 2 years, you'll still have April of last year. Honey, you're still in the middle of it.
Right. Now, okay.
You're deeply in the middle of it.
Now, one of the things I will say with that is because I am the king of my emotions need to look a certain way. And it is something that I've had to let go of. And I've really struggled to let go of because, for me, it was very hard. It's one of those when I was, my writing needs to be painful and, with one lone tear, my grieving needs to be falling apart,
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily grieving. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to look like that because your question was, how can you grieve when there's other things to do? Grieving doesn't need to be everything in life stops and I go insane because that's always my thing. I'm going to just go insane. I will lose my mind and let the grief take me because I'm a little bit on the traumatic side and it's just
you think.
And that's just the way my belief system was. It doesn't need to be that way. Grieving is natural, and it's taken me a lot of work to really figure that out, though.
Oh, most definitely. That's the thing that we don't. It's like right now with our move, that's really in our mind.
Right.
So let me get into. Okay, first of all, I just want to say the one thing about like grieving when someone passes away. It hits you in waves. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it'll hit you in a wave of sadness because you miss them, and you cry.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it'll hit you with shit. I can't even do this. Sorry. Of course. I say the C word and immediately I do it. But I mean, sometimes it hits you with a wave of laughter because you have a memory and you allow yourself to feel that. Grief is really just allowing yourself to feel and allowing yourself to be natural about it. It's like in the beginning you miss them more because you feel the ache of the separation and the permanency of it. Well, no, you feel the ache of the separation. And as you start to experience the permanency of like, okay, I'm never going to see them again, you'll have other waves of sadness. And as you allow yourself and you release those emotions of sadness, you open yourselves up to experiencing the joy of having that relationship and laughing about a memory and telling stories about them. And that's all part of the grief process. Mm-hmm. Growing up in my household, with Latin people, somebody would die, and then you begin, don't talk about him in front of your father because, you know how he reacts. And because my dad has such grief issues. His dad died in 1973. Okay, do the math. 37 years ago. In fact, it'll be 37 years in a couple weeks. How do I know that? Well, aside from the fact that that was the first person who ever died in my life that I ever saw, it was also something so traumatic because my dad, still to this day, can't talk about his dad without bursting into tears.
Yeah.
And it's this stop and start grieving that we're used to. That I'm allowing myself to grieve and then suck it up because I've got to go deal with family and work and all that other stuff.
Find something to distract.
It doesn't need to be like that. It doesn't need to be all or nothing. It doesn't need to be thrown on the bed, crying and using a box of Kleenex. It could just be allowing yourself to feel that. And if you're at work and the tears come, then, put your head down and cry it out, or go to the bathroom and cry it out. But don't stop yourself.
Right.
Whatever you do, don't stop yourself. And let it work its way completely out. And if you can find someone to talk about what triggered this current wave of sadness or these current tears, talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
There could be guilt, there could be shame, there could be anger, lots of anger. Anger's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's anger, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Which then leads to guilt.
Then, yeah, of course, because damn you, how can you be...
Right, how can you be angry at a person who died? That's just wrong.
My great-grandmother died at 96, and everyone still carries a torch and tears up, gets depressed. Really? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this... It's almost like this badge of honor. Oh my God, we loved her so much. She was the matriarch of the family. And damn it, we better, keep her memory alive. What they're doing is hanging on to a ghost.
Yeah.
Great grandma is out there, riding horses with Jesus on, the beaches of heaven, and doesn't really give a crap what the family's doing, and they don't care because it's like this idea that if they stop doing grandma dead, that they're letting her go, and in reality, what they're doing is tarnishing a beautiful memory, if that. I don't know if she was a nice person.
Mm-hmm. See what you're getting.
Oh.
Yeah. So see what you're getting. You're getting the two ends of the spectrum here. You're getting the can't let goes versus the trying to let go too quickly. Part of this is all about integrating the emotions, integrating the change.
So do they Seth, do they celebrate Christmas like Grandma Day? Or is it just they disowned you because you're not willing to join in the pity fest that Grandma died?
Yeah,
they're a matriarchal family. Yeah,
right.
It's like it's sick. We have the extremes of feeling. It's like, oh, good, that's nice that they honor and they loved her and whatever, and then they just take that feeling and bastardize it into something really ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of celebrating the family, which is what you should be doing at Christmas, you're celebrating dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and this is interesting because
they canceled Christmas because you didn't take your kid. Oh my God.
Yeah. See, that's this goes back to what Angela originally wrote with the idea of. Of how do you grieve and pay the bills and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Because there needs to be.
You have to go on.
You're alive. You're still alive.
Okay. This is the thing. My grandfather died October 8th. My mom was pregnant. No, they canceled Christmas. Oh, how nice! Yeah. Great. Well, because it was just too much for them. My grandfather died October 8th. My brother was born October 31st. My mother was way pregnant when he died. We still went trick-or-treating. Mm-hmm. It was the custom back then that when, somebody died in the family or whatever, or somebody died, you couldn't put on anything electronic or whatever. And, you just can't live like that. We have, in Spanish we call it luto. Luto is the grieving, is the grief. And when you are in luto, is you're wearing the black and there's nothing, you can't turn on the lights, you can't turn on the radio, you can't. And when my grandfather died, we did that. And I remember at the age of 7, I thought, this is stupid. And this is so not right. And so when we were older, my uncle's mom died like a few days before our Halloween party. My brother was born on Halloween. Paul was born the 29th of October. So we always have a Halloween party. So we'll talk more about that as it approaches. Yeah. So anyway, this woman dies like a couple days before, drops dead right before it. And my dad's like, immediately, no party, we can't celebrate, that is just completely, it's disrespectful to to have this party. Disrespectful to who? And that's the thing. It's like you celebrate life. And if anything that our dead relatives or our dead friends show us is that you celebrate life when you can.
Mm-hmm.
And part of celebrating life is going ahead and feeling the feelings for those people when they were alive. Now your family stuff, they're not going to get it. It's not like they're going to watch the show and go, "Oh my God, Stephanie was right." They're not going to get it. You know, there's really just those people who get it and those people who don't. Those people who want to celebrate life or die with people who die, and the only thing they do is they don't crawl into the coffin with them.
No.
And, you know, I know I'm talking all big and bad right now, but, you know, it's like, I know that 5 years ago when our best friend died, it was devastating.
Mm-hmm.
But the next day after she died was our son's birthday.
And we had to celebrate.
And we had to celebrate him.
Because
you know?
she would have haunted
Yeah,
us.
and when I say best friend,
that.
she was like my best friend,
Yes.
his best friend, Jeannie's best friend,
Mm-hmm.
my son's best
Right.
friend. He was what, like 1 or 2 years old?
Mm-hmm.
And we celebrated her. We toasted her, we celebrated her. You know, this was a very big fixture in our family. My parents mourned her, my brother and sister mourned her. This was a big deal, but I'd be damned if I wouldn't be celebrating, my son or anything else because something in life happened. And things like this happen all the time. It was painful. It still is.
Mm-hmm.
She still makes me cry 5 years later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's why I drink my coffee, so I'm going to suck back the tears. I've cried on the show about her before.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm all messed up with the grief. Actually, I'm very good with my grief with that. I just allow myself to feel it when I want to, and that's just that.
Mm-hmm.
My father said, you can't pick your family. Okay.
Yeah. Little side note, yes, you can pick your family.
Oh, yeah. Big time, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the beauties of getting older.
Uh-huh.
It's like I'm stuck with you when I'm younger,
Right.
but when I get older, I get to pick who I love,
Mm-hmm.
and I get to pick who's my family and who's my sisters, my brothers. Unfortunately, like parents, I wouldn't want to pick new parents because why would I give anybody that kind of power?
Yeah.
But, yeah, you can pick your family, and, yeah, sorry. Yeah, he is picking his family by disowning you.
Yeah, right.
He's unpicking you.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's not really accurate. But I don't think that's what we're talking about today. This,
No, but it is part of it is part of grief, and it is part of letting go. And this is.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at the crowd who's watching us right now.
I know.
Like, yeah.
The beauty part. I have such wonderful friends now, and I'm really blessed to have such wonderful friends in my life. That it's like they fit those niches that family members, and you think family members, we're related, I can give them a kidney, that kind of thing, would be more loving, that we all raised together and all that. And I have friends who have stepped up in my life to the point where, like the one who passed away, she was like the big sister,
She was the go-to friend.
She was the best friend. I mean, whenever we needed anything, she was there. Not like, we could use her, but like, she was there for us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sad when you lose that. It's sad when you don't think that you'll ever have somebody like that in your life again. And the moment she left, and it was really amazing, she was like one of our only friends. The day after she left, we had our party for our son, and then we had the house filled with people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like saying, look at all your new friends. And sure shit, we have a lot of great friends.
See, we do, I guess this goes with, it definitely goes with letting go. We believe in a philosophy of letting things go because it opens you up to receive more.
Exactly.
It is there's a hug thing or something, if you're like this and you really can't be like this,
Right.
You're hanging on to something. And it was because of our friends, for me at least, that I started exploring that lesson. Because I can't say I learned it all in that one day. It took me a long time to learn.
Oh yeah, no.
Lesson. But it's one.
It sounds very poetic when you say, "Oh,
yeah.
it's very movie of the week when you do it like that."
Yeah, there was a bit of a struggle for me, and a wee bit of tears, a wee bit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it sound like, we sacrificed our friend to get other friends. That's not. There wasn't.
No.
It's not a situation of replacement or anything of that sort. But it is the acknowledgement that she was amazing in our life, and when she left our life that way, she opened up the door for a bunch of other amazing people to step in.
And that's the thing. It's like when you lose love, and you let it go, it opens you up to new love.
Right.
And what happens with a lot of people is that since they don't let go of the old love, they keep replaying the same pattern. And they keep replaying the same dysfunction. Or they just don't get it. They just don't find love at all.
So this is the relationship part,
This is the relationship part. But it's all the same.
Yeah,
it's about...
This whole conversation is the same. It's all about letting go.
It is all about letting go. It's like when you have they say it's like you have a friend for a reason, friend for a season, friend, whatever, There are people that come in and out of your life. And there are relationships that, you could say like that's a starter wife or a starter relationship or something like that. But they teach you something.
Right.
And even in your own dysfunctional family, they're teaching you something. And that lesson, whether it be just because your family doesn't mean that, I have to be around you, or just because I felt love intensely for you doesn't mean that I'm never going to have that again. And I really do believe that it's kind of hard to say that you're in love with someone and be really dysfunctional. That's just a personal opinion of mine. People could tell me what they want to, but I don't know. That one, I don't know. So we go back to the beginning. You have the people who break up too fast, and you have the people who stay on and don't let go. And once again, same thing as as anything in grief. If you're leaving it too fast, then you're pretending it didn't happen. You're pretending that I'm just going to move on and everything is going to be wonderful.
It's like driving down the freeway in a car and deciding, I'm just going to let the car go and hopping out. It's like, there needs to be a process to it. You kind of pull the car over, you stop, you decide that, when it's the right time to let go. Because if you don't do it right, the car goes careening into other stuff and there's a lot of damage.
Yeah, and then usually because you had to jump out of a moving car.
Yes, right.
And then you don't understand why it is that all your relationships look exactly the same.
Like car wrecks.
Like car wrecks, because you never let go of the first one.
Right.
And you find that, I want to go back to grief because that's a... You don't have to share DNA in order to be called family. No shit. That's very true. I have some friends, these are like my sisters. These are like my, I let them say things to me that I don't even let my sister say to me. How's that? And of course, since I know she doesn't watch the show, I could say these things.
I'm surprised she hasn't called.
Yeah, I know. My mom did, though. One of them has to call.
Yeah,
one of the
during the show,
Aidas.
always. Yeah, always during the show.
Anyway, so, letting it go. What is this? What am I writing? Okay, I've written so poorly that I can't even read it. Okay, one of the things, so we move away from actually death. You have, how do you know when to let go? You have to ask yourself, can it be saved? And, this goes with friendship actually very well. Can it be saved? Is this irreparable? Have they committed that mortal sin that you just can't seem to forgive? If you would ask me that question when I was 25, I'd be like, okay, no, cut them off at the knees, move it on, whatever. At 44, almost 45, I think I'm a little more forgiving nowadays. I think I've grown up enough to know that in the realm of love, some things are more forgivable than others. And, you know, even infidelity. I mean, that used to be like the taboo. No way. That's never. If if you're ever unfaithful, I'll shoot you in the face first, and then ask questions later. That kind of thing. Not that I've ever been unfaithful, but I could see why people can overcome that. I think that it's very selfish and ridiculous of people to just say, "Fuck it," I'm not gonna hang out with you. I'm not gonna be with you anymore because you've hurt me so much. Sex is one thing. Now, you tell me you fell in love with somebody else. Well, that would probably be the clincher for me. But I can't see how you could ever do that.
No.
Yeah, it's me.
That's true. And I'm almost here today anyhow.
I know. I think one of the things, I mean, like when I've worked with couples, it's like, can it be saved? It's like, I look at the foundation. Is there still respect? Do you still have a very positive regard for one another? Aside from the offense, is there still love? If there isn't, then you probably weren't in love.
Right. See, okay. Actually, I think one of the things we need to do is take a little step back and go foundational with the idea of change. Because, see, if everything we're talking about, if we're talking grief and letting go and all that kind of stuff, the premise is that something has changed, right? Okay, just making sure we're all on the same page. Change is going to happen. The idea
change is good.
Right. The first thing, the idea that people won't change is wrong.
Bullshit.
Okay, people change. People have to change.
Yeah.
It's part of their developmental process, and it happens all the way through life.
And the people that you see that don't change, you see how incredibly dysfunctional they become.
Right. They're not letting go. So they're clinging on to something older, something else, not allowing the change to happen. So, where was I going? Oh, with the whole relationship part, when she's saying she's looking for that foundation, really it is within the idea that people change. So what was it built on?
Right. I mean, and I don't understand people who say things to me like, "Oh, we grew apart." You were never together in the first place if you grew apart, because change is something that happens. It's an organic process.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't look like how we did when we got married. All of a sudden my hair turned blonde during all those years.
That's true.
It wasn't blonde.
Yeah. And mine is turning light blonde.
Platinum.
Platinum even.
But
I got a good 50 pounds from when I.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
When we got married, I weighed about 128 pounds.
Yeah, he looked like something out of Auschwitz or something.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot tall. So.
Oh no, and I love the fact that people tell me, "Oh, he's so thin." It's like, no, you should have seen him when I first, got together with him.
This is me being chubby.
Yeah, chubby.
Yeah.
Actually,
What?
Just I'm sorry. Inside joke. But anyway, growing apart and all that stuff. But it's all part of the change,
right.
And it's like, if you're willing to break up because now you're not the same person I married, well, I don't know what you thought you were doing when you were getting married, because you're definitely not the same person. They're not the same person, and your unwillingness to meet them where they are now, that is another part of the foundation. Are you motivated? Are you willing? And I find that a lot of people who have problems with grief tend to break up really fast with people.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much easier for them in their minds to let them go when they feel that they've been offended by their behavior.
I mean, let's be real logical about it. If somebody's saying that they grew apart, then the logical answer is then grow back together.
Yeah, exactly.
Handle it. I mean,
it's like, oh, we just wanted different things in life. How did that happen?
Right.
I mean, I really want to know how that happens, because it sounds so mature when people say that, but it's really a crock-a-caca
Uh-huh.
to say that you got married and then 10 years later, all of a sudden, she wanted to be a fighter pilot and he wanted to be a florist. You know? And it's like, well, unless you just...
Definitely a convenient excuse.
It's very convenient, but it's very mature. It's
Yeah.
very, oh, wow, you know. And people don't even question it. People just do the, oh, I see, no problem. Because we don't know what the hell to say. We don't know if it's appropriate to say, you know, oh, well, is there anything you could do about it? Well, no, because we've grown apart, you know. It's like, we don't even speak the same language, you know, that they're speaking Lithuanian and I'm speaking Greek, you know. It's like, it doesn't make sense, okay? It's just another way of lying to yourself about unwillingness to grieve something, unwillingness to grieve the change, and unwillingness to work on a relationship. You know, it's like, those are the same people who aren't going to grieve things. Those are the same people who will leave things just festering and open and just move on.
Right.
You know, and then you have those people that cling on to something that's dead. You know, I mean, you know, Stephanie, like your dad doing the, you know, she's gone. She's way gone. She's way, 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 way gone. And yet, that's his own issue with death.
Right.
Okay? The bottom line is, he has an issue with death. Not with her death, but with death in general.
Yes.
And if he thinks that if he can honor this woman's memory like this and be almost like this monument of loyalty to the dead, then somehow or another he will either cheat death. I know that is extremely, extremely childish of what I'm saying, but that's how people think. Either he thinks he's going to cheat death, or that people will be the same way with him when he does die.
Her dad was talking about her mom's family.
Oh, okay. So who was the one that said that? You said something about your dad, right? Someone mentioned.
Oh, I see. Her dad was.
Your dad was the sane one.
He was the sane one,
Oh,
telling
okay.
her to.
Oh, okay. Well.
I see.
Okay, got it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So your mom's family. Well, that's what they're doing. They have grief issues, and major grief issues, and they're afraid of death. Like his mom with her Dead album.
Yeah.
Incredibly afraid of death.
Now,
you know?
right, then, you know, this is from my own exploration, is ultimately my grief stuff boils down to, I hate to bring it up, but trust in God. Okay?
Why do you have to hate to bring that up? Because it's really the...
Because anytime that we wander into the God realm, I always get a little bit woogie. But ultimately for me, that's what it is. And like seeing it with my mom says point blank that she doesn't believe in the soul. So that's where, I mean, that really is the crux of death issues, is that she doesn't believe that there's any connection outside of
but she goes to church every Sunday. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, when at 18 and my mom died, they never came out to see us. Okay, your mom's family is really, really, really...
Yeah. Yes.
They have such... I mean, these are the kind of people who feel like life is just suffering. These are people that wouldn't know joy if it bit them in the ass. Wow, that's really messed up.
Yeah.
You know, that's just...
See, also, I think this applies here, is that it's easier.
They can't disown you, honey. They never owned you.
Yes, right. It's easier to
Why is it always the mom's family?
It's easier to focus on the the death and the grief and the suffering and that kind of stuff than it is to focus on the emotions of living.
If you think about it, death is so easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's done. It's gone. Yet there's nothing else to it. So if I focus on that, there's nothing going to change about that. If I focus on life is messy. Life is, one day you're right and you're high on the hog, and the next day you're